Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 4 here in our EMC to the Sky playthrough. Up until this point, we've been working through the quest book, and we've just been struggling away at getting things done. And we've done pretty good. We've gotten the first chapter finished, and I want to move into the second one. But before we do that, I want to take some time to do a little bit of building, because I don't want to end up with this playthrough being all done on this big cobblestone platform and us not having any fun with the building aspect of Minecraft. But to do that, I want to set up some things. One thing for sure is that we have access to botany pots, because we have the hopper botany pots we set up. We are EMCable, so we are able to make as many of them as we need as long as we get the EMC. And we don't have a huge EMC farm of any kind yet, but we have enough that we can get a little bit of that going. So I'm going to grab a few of those. Last episode we got a storage drawer controller and a key. The key is EMCable, so I've put that in there just so we had it in case we lose it, but I have that for us to do things with. And I'm going to look at the storage drawers. I want to see, are these things EMCable at all? So it looks like the upgrades are EMCable, the drawers are EMCable, so everything is. So once we get one thing set up, the only things that are not is the controller. But the controller slaves are, so that's fine. So we can, once we make these and everything else, we can extend this storage drawer system really easily with by just crafting the things one time. So what I intend to do with that is I have a whole bunch of different saplings that we can grow. For example, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Here we go. I have a bunch of different saplings in here that we can grow. I have some other things like that, like cobblestone we can EMC, but what I want is I want to make it so that we can generate cobblestone. So we're going to use a cobble gen, which are very easy to make. We just need wood, glass, and lava, which we have, so we can make these. And I want to set up just a small section over here where basically I'll have a wall of storage drawers. I'll have items that get piped in there, and then any overflow will just go to a big chest for now. And then that way it will fill up our storage drawers so that we have access to wood and different types of wood. And then anything excess from that will get dumped into a chest that we can just throw into our transmutation table to use for EMC. And that means we'll have different items we can build with. So we can do stone and some stone variants. We can do wood and all the different variants for that. And it will allow us to build stuff without, with a little bit of variation. So it's not just cobblestone and oak wood. That's the plan. And then I want to use the materials we make, and I'm going to build something to make this into an actual building or a place for us to live in, instead of just having a big cobblestone setup here. As I start to work out some plans on what we're going to be building today, I put this thing down. So basically I went and grabbed some wood out of the EMC table, and I used it to make all these different types of drawers, and then I put them in here to learn them. So I have oak half drawers in the 1x1, 1x2, and 2x2 level, and then I have oak drawers as 1x1, 1x2, and 2x2. So once I crafted them once, I'm able to EMC them as much as I want. And then I made a bunch of the oak drawers 2x2, and I put them all onto this wall and then locked them all. And back here behind it, I have set up an item pipe that is connected to chests with hoppers above it that grow the different saplings. So that means each of these things has different items that come through, and then if they have a space on that wall, they get sent out to get stored. So things that I have don't have a spot are because I haven't actually put them into the drawer wall yet. So now anytime we get more sticks from these, it will provide us. And so we have an oak sapling growing here, and we're getting different things from it, and out here they're collecting those. And so the idea is this will keep building up, and I'll have different things to do it. where we'll have a stock here, and then excess will be put in here, and I can just grab whatever's in here and throw it into our transmutation table. The collection of the items isn't as big of a deal for the items that are EMCable, because I can just go and grab a whole stack or 10 stacks or whatever once I have EMC for the different items that I have EMC on them. Like these things. I'm not sure if I taught our table these 4 different logs yet, so let's try that, for example. And yeah, we need to learn those things. And then the saplings we already had on the wall, so I need to get more of those saplings and put them in place. Cobblestone, wood, and saplings we had. This side of the wall is for items that we used to have growing over here when we set it up during that episode, and I moved them up to a floor up here. So we have our bamboo, it's growing. We have our potatoes that are growing. We have our botany pot, or our carrots growing in this botany pot. We have our melons here. We have our cactus here. We have our sugar cane here. And the bamboo, I think we didn't put a slot yet. So that, oh, we do, but it's full. Okay, so this is an example for these. We can't EMC these, so they're growing, and we will just collect them, and that way we'll have a chest full of each thing up here. We may change these out to be drawers later, because we can then have a little bit more access to them. We'll see. It's just a thing to get started. That is not where I plan to have them in the end anyway, so we'll have to figure out as we go. I need to grab my pipe. Or my pipe's wrench. I've been putting stuff in here that I'm carrying around. That's my engineer's toolbox that I got. It's kind of neat. So whenever we have something new here, we just put it like this. We have to set it to pull out, because otherwise items are going to get put in here, just like it did there. And that pulls it out, and everything goes down through the pipe and goes into the storage drawer controller. So we also have cobblestone here. I put a cobblestone generator underneath the floor, so it goes into this chest and it gets fed in. I just did it underneath so that it kind of matches up with the aesthetic where the chests are all on this line, which is kind of cool. So everything else, what else did I do in here? I went through and I pulled out some different blocks from our EMC table that are different things I could use for building at the moment. The steel ingots are just because I didn't have space for them. This chest over here is for stuff that's not EMCable that I just want to put down for a moment. But so these are different blocks I thought we could build with different shades, different textures. We don't have a lot, but we do have the ability to make this wood. We can't grow it because I don't have the saplings yet. I'll have to get into transmutation before I can do that with the Philosopher's Stone. But I do have all 6 of the main wood types because I was given those logs as a reward from the quest book. And so when we go in here, I can grab as many of them as I need to. So now we have, when we look for log, we have seen all the different things. Another thing I learned just while we're talking about the transmutation table is instead of putting things in here to learn them, if you put one in here, then you're able to pull out as many of that item as you want. And then any excess you can drop off in here. That's a good way to use it, this spot in the middle. So whatever item you want, it will give you the item that you want up here and then relatable items around it. So like if you're trying to find something similar. So let me give an example of how that would work in practical terms. So I have oak logs and I want to go in and I take the oak log, I put it in here. It will show me items that are related to that. So I might need different log types. I might need oak saplings because I want to grow more oak logs. These things are related because they are from the biome that they're in, that kind of stuff. And you can scroll through. These are all things that are related to an oak log or made from items that are made with oak logs. And so it's kind of a system where it tries to guess what you're looking for based on what you put in there. So if we put a drawer in there, for example, we see the different drawer types. We see that. I'm not sure why we see all these other items, but it does do a pretty good job of when you put it in there, you have an idea of what you're looking for. Okay, so what we're going to work on next, I made some ladders because what we're going to do is grab some cobblestone. And I'm going to, instead of going down and making a basement underneath this area and then building on this level, this is going to become my basement, and we're going to come up here and we're going to be building a layer up. And so what I want to do, this pillar is right at 0, 0 on the coordinates. So that's going to become the center of my world up here. I want to start building an area where we're going to build our new building. And it's going to take some time to get everything worked out, because my goal is to build a building that has a water wheel system and a windmill on it. And so it's going to look like a farm building, like a windmill / water wheel or mill kind of system. And I want to build it and make it look pretty decent, and also have some functionality where the water wheel and the windmill will feed electricity inside of it, so that we can start putting down some buildings inside. So my first thing I'm going to do is just come up. I'm going to go up to, let's go up to level 100 on the y-axis, and then we'll put this ladder down, and then we can start building a level up there. So what I want to do is I'm going to use some cobblestone just to shape it out, and I'm going to build some different layers, and I want to have an area where there is basically a pond, and then we'll have a river that feeds into it, so that we can build a water wheel on that, and it'll start to look normal. And we're basically going to be building the overworld from scratch as we go along and play, is the goal. We'll see how well we can pull that off, but that way we can build a building for our immersive engineering stuff that actually looks like it should function the way that the items do. Our new build is getting some progress. If you look at the mini map, you might see what that progress is a little bit, or at least a preview of it. I'm gonna jump into it just so you can see it from the here. If you fall off the world, you go through the top, fall back down again. I thought that would be a dramatic way to come up here. So I made it so that the water kind of goes to the edge and creates an infinity pool, and then this pond here is where the water is going to collect from the river that we're going to build. And then I just kind of flatten this area out up top. Right now it's just lit up, so no mobs will spawn. Next stage is to put in the river and then build up from there. So basically I just built a level here, and then I built the pond area down there, and then I made a flat area across. And let me tell you, one thing I have learned for sure is I cannot wait until I get to tier 2, because these iron wands do not last very long. I did get some more mob drops out of the deal, because a bunch of mobs did spawn and I killed them. So I got gunpowder, and I think I got bones and other things like that. I'm going to continue to work on this. I'm going to set up, I'm going to try to plan out a river up there. So basically the process that I've been doing is I just grab some wands, and I have a bunch of dirt in my inventory. I'm going to get rid of the cobble because I'm done with it now. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do dirt. Ladders can go for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I just keep 9 in there, because that way whenever I run out of dirt and I crack one of these open, it leaves me the spaces I need to do it. Now I carry a bunch of compressed dirt, and that allows me to decompress that and build with it. So that's the process I've been doing. Very tedious, but it's fun. And it'll be nice when we're done to have a big building up here that is kind of like our home, instead of playing on a area that is just cobblestone. And you know, the tech that we have now has enabled us to do it in the EMC. So it's pretty neat. So we're gonna bring up basically we're gonna lay out a river, and then we're gonna bring up the slopes to it, and we'll flatten it out, and then I'm gonna fill in the water for the river, and I'm gonna make it so the river goes over kind of this way and then over towards there, and we're gonna have the edge of a mountain as the backdrop, and that's where the stream is gonna come out. It's gonna flow down the river to our water, and that is where we're going to build our mill and our windmill and some other things up here. The next stage is coming along nicely. I'm here underneath the next part I built. I'm gonna actually break a hole through here so I can climb up to show you. This is the bank on the side of the river that is far away from where we're going to be building, and it's just going to be a place for us to build something else later and maybe expand out farther. And I've kind of traced the path of a river along the bottom here. Still being careful to light up everything so that when it's nighttime, I don't have a swarm of mobs coming to take me out. Had that happen several times. But that's okay. Keep getting more resources to add to my EMC pool. No problem at all. Next step is to kind of finish the bank on the other side of the river. Over here where it kind of hits the edge is where I'm going to have it kind of edge of the world kind of thing, where it goes down like we did on the corner of the lake over there, and we'll put a rim to catch it. So we have a rim down there that goes around the edge of the world, and we can use that to make this work. This line here is kind of where I want the top of the river to be. I want it to kind of start really narrow over there, which eventually will be replaced by the hillside where the stream is going to be coming out, starting this, and it's going to get wider. And then there's going to be a part here where it kind of pools into a bigger area, and it'll narrow back out, and it will go down here, get wider, and do the same again, make a little narrow spot where I'm probably going to build some stuff to make it look cool. And then it'll go out to our pond over here, where it widens out to its widest spot and becomes part of the pond. So all I have to do is continue building up this side to make it level with this side. And 110 is going to be like our surface. Like that's where the water will eventually come up to here. And then we will have land on this side and land on that side. And then we can start building our new home. Let me tell you, building a river is harder than you would think it would be. And I thought it was going to be pretty hard. I did get the river kind of placed. The next goal I have is to get some grass growing while I work on the water in the river. So we have both the banks finished, and I have leveled off the tops so that we have our surface at level 110 here. And our goal after that is, I'm gonna put down some torches just because it's night. I don't really feel like dealing with mobs again. Is to raise this water level up one level at a time all the way through here, creating water sources until we have water all the way through here. And it's going to take a little while, so that'll give us time for that grass to spread some. And then I think that we should be pretty much done, except I want to build some kind of hill, maybe even like the side of a mountain at that far corner. And I want this to look like it's just, so we took a big chunk of the overworld and ripped it out and built this here. So that's what I'm going for. I think also after the grass is down, we'll plant some trees up here and kind of make it so it's lit up better than with these random torches everywhere. But we'll see. It's going to take some time to get that all figured out and get the decorating going. Getting it built first is priority number one. So I still need to let the grass grow, and I need to fix the lighting, do some things with that, do some decorating, get some trees down. But we have an island that has some hills on it. Just something to start. They're a little unnatural, so they need a little bit of work, but it's kind of neat to see an island get made out of nothing but EMC and patience and time. We also have a lot of little friendly critters coming to inhabit the place with us, which is pretty neat. I think that this is Quark's version of the frog. I have to say, I really like the Minecraft version that was added later on much better. I mean, it looks like a frog. Maybe. Anyway, the next step we want to work on is actually building something now that we have a place to build it. So I have over here all these building blocks. We also have these four. Oops, I have a bunch of junk in my inventory. Clean that up. It's nice to just be able to dump everything in that has EMC, knowing that I can just grab it back later if I want it. Oh, I missed one. There we go. We have these four as an option. I want to grab these and see. So these do have EMC. Planks also have EMC. So let's grab those and put them in here. I want to see if do they all make archwood planks, or is it something different? It's all archwood planks. So that's the planks, the option that we have from those. Grab one of each of these. Blue, green, and red one. That's the trunk. I want to see also, can we, and we can strip them. But it looks like the blaze and the flourishing ones, they don't really, let's grab a stack. They don't really seem to have much of a color to them when you strip them. Do a section of them and see if it's different. Okay, so it is just random. There is color. There may be color, they may be just gray. So that's an option for things that we can build with. I don't know if the gray is going to work for what I want right now, but it's nice to know we have some more options. And like I said, we can do the different wood, so we just have to use EMC. We can't grow more of it, but we have pretty decent EMC level at the moment because wood is cheap, and we have some passive coming in, so it's not a problem for that. Let's put this stuff away. I was experimenting around with the repair kits to see if they had EMC or not. They do not. I think it's kind of silly because you can make them out of the materials that do have EMC. So it would be nice if they did, but regardless. So those are our options for building, and I think I'm just going to do something kind of tame as far as we go, just because we don't have a lot. I like using spruce. We'll probably use some dark oak, some regular oak. I might put in a little acacia trim. Terracotta I'm probably going to use, but I'm probably not going to use the regular terracotta. Sandstone I don't think we're going to be using much of. Glass we'll be using for the windows, of course. And then the three different stone types I have, I was hoping to get some andesite to mix into the mix, but I don't have andesite yet. And it looked like the best way to get andesite was by crafting using diorite. And diorite, I need nether quartz to craft it. And I don't have that yet. So I'll get it. I'm sure I'll get it soon. I'll go to the nether, but not yet. So these are the options we have for now. I might try to throw a few more things in. I want to see what color dyes I have at the moment. Did I get any lapis yet? No. Wonder if there is a way for me to get blue dye. We can get it from cornflower. We can also get it from light blue petals. Wonder, I can't remember. I'm gonna go try this and see. And I know later on the cornflowers that you can get blue from grow in swamps, and you can bone meal in swamps to get them. But I don't know if that is a thing that works in 1.16 or not. Frankly, even if it is really a thing that works or something I just imagine. But I do have a swamp biome right over here. So what do you give me? Blue orchid gives me light blue. I don't think I got any cornflower out of that. Just blue orchid. Let's try some over here. This is still a swamp as well. Still got just the blue orchid, but light blue is okay. That's not a terrible thing to have. It is nice to have an area up here with a couple of different biomes. Over here is plains, so I'll grab a few rounds of this stuff here just to see what I get. Oh, I got cornflower. Excellent. Now I have blue dye. I already had that, so that can go. Let's head down. I don't know if I have any other biomes here. This one looks different, so this is also a swamp. Looks pretty normal. Everything else looks pretty much the same, either swamp or plains. So let's head down, and we're going to see what we have that we can EMC out of that little collection we just got, and we'll get ready to start building some stuff. So the blue orchids are EMCable. We got light blue dye from them. The blue dye, did I got cornflower, and then I turned it all into blue dye, which is what I wanted from it, but I didn't keep any of the actual cornflower to put into the EMC. Let's add these seeds over here. We'll go back up and get some. And then I'll get together some blocks for a pallet, and I'll start laying out a building up here for our new structure that we're going to be working on. So I went and I decided to use some bone meal across all of the land up here, and I gotta say, it looks a lot nicer. It looks very much more like I'm in just a regular playthrough and not a skyblock just by looking at this. It looks like I'm in you know, a world where I'm only loading a couple of chunks. Kind of like it. It looks cool. I also collected a bunch of other flowers and did some other things, and I got a bunch of dyes. I figured out that the only ones I can't do right now are black and gray and brown. Brown, I need to get cocoa beans or brown shimmering mushrooms or mystic brown petals. And for the black and the gray, I need to get black dye from either a wither rose or from squid ink. And then the gray I can make using that, and white, or I can get it from a mushroom or a petal. But I got all those, and then I also made all of the different terracottas, and I was thinking one of these two, and maybe this one, might go well with the palette that we have in here. I'm going to throw them in for now. But I also noticed that we're at like 28 minutes right now, and we're pretty close to the end of an episode. So I think that we're going to leave it here. We did get quite a bit done today. We got an entire biome built up here with a river and space for us to build. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think the next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on building the actual building, and I'm going to work on doing, advancing some more tech to get into tier 2. And because I'd like to do that, and then every couple episodes we'll work on building some more. I did kind of like this little section here. I just made it look like this is a rock formation with an underground spring coming up, and then the water flows down. This river just falls off the edge because it's right on the edge of the chunk border, and I thought that was kind of neat. And I'm pretty happy overall with this build, and I think that that'll be fun. Every few episodes, I'll work on some more building stuff, and we'll build a proper building up here to house some of our projects. And then that way, we're not just building on our little cobblestone platform down here. This can just be our little test bed, and we will, once we have something down here that's finished, we can move it up there into a proper building, and we can expand out. Maybe I had so much fun doing this one. This is kind of like a swamp and a plains biome all together. I might look around and see in nearby what other biomes we have and try to recreate some of them. And maybe we'll just recreate our own overworld slowly, chunk by chunk by chunk. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this one, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.